Beer meets food, man. The guy is a British lad, and he travels all over the world, pretty much doing all these food challenges.
Nope, definitely didn't see it.
And he's probably your size, Sam, and he takes down the biggest fucking meals you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I'll have to check it out.
And it's addicting.
It's on YouTube, is it?
Yeah.
I'll check that out.
He actually did a few. He was in Alberta of all places, and I think he was down around he was in Stony Plain and Edmonton and down around that area, and he was taking them all on from. Really? I think he did a brew house one and stuff.
Oh, like
but anyway,
the Big Berg.
I fucking love it because that's that's one of my go-tos like every day. Like it's hot ones, and then it's like beard meets food, and that's what kind of reminds me of.
Oh yeah,
you got to see.
Yeah,
I've checked that out.
It's just a good way to turn your brain off, and it's a safe place to be when you're watching Beard Meets Food. That's for sure.
I'm watching. Speaking of food shows, I'm watching The Bear.
Oh yeah.
That's a really good show, man.
I picked up on season 2 there recently as well.
Oh yeah, it's really good, really good. If you haven't checked that out, that's a dandy.
The Bear,
yeah. Willy Wonka.
The Bear. Got to give it a shot.
Yeah, man, it's really good. It takes like it's really good from the start, but I don't know, it almost gets better the more you watch it. It's really in depth.
If I don't know if I've never worked in a kitchen or a restaurant before, but people say it's a lot like how
it reminds me of working in the kitchen.
Yeah, kind of the stress level was super high.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like so, it's gives that real feeling.
Yeah.
Have you ever worked in anything like that?
Me? Yeah. When I was a baker, I worked in the kitchen in the bakery.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. How about you? You ever have a kitchen job? I know we're not even really started. We're just bullshitting here, but you ever worked in a kitchen?
No, I never successfully held a kitchen job. I started off in like Dairy Queen. They let me go, and then A&W. They let me go.
Fuck, man. They didn't know what they were
It's
missing.
a task, man. Finding a skill set or a mindset that can get you going at work when, I don't know, man. It caught me by surprise to have to be a focused person, you know?
Yeah, I agree on that. I have a hard time with that shit. And becoming an adult sucks sometimes.
But yeah, 5 days a week at Dairy Queen would be definitely an eye-opening experience as a young person.
I'd say.
Any fast food, for that matter, really. Any customer experience, customer's always right type of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, food serving is weird. It's an interesting game. It's I don't know, because you're like, it's people's food. Like it's like money, right? Like it's like fucking with people's money or fucking with people's food. Kind of the same category. Shouldn't do either.
The good news is I never saw anybody do anything nasty to food. And actually, one time I was talking to a couple guys that worked at a Denny's, and they were, a couple metalheads. And I thought, oh, maybe these guys. They were like, no, man, never. We'd never do anything to someone. I was like, good to hear. There's a lot of good guys out there.
Yeah, that's good though.
Too many movies with that. You know what I mean?
Fight Club ruined it for everybody. Fight Club ruined it for everybody.
That other Ryan Reynolds movie, Waiting. You ever see that?
Oh yeah.
That was one like that too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
spitting in burgers and shit.
That's true. I forgot about that one.
Even social media now, you see like these random clips of someone licking an ice cream and putting it back in the freezer. And it probably doesn't happen too often, but you see it once and you're like, people are doing that.
Yeah,
it's gross. That is disgusting.
Yeah,
but people do all kinds of weird stuff, man. Like that's one thing I learned about because I worked in the grocery store and a bakery, kind of different portions of my late teens and early adulthood or whatever. And the grocery store people are I found a lot grosser than the people working in the food, like actually working in real food. Grocery store was nuts. Just nuts. Yeah, it was interesting. People doing like
behind the scenes, eh?
Yeah, coolers are like the coolers are like space for things to go on in the nighttime, and like it's kind of weird. Yeah, it's a weird spot. Like,
oh fuck.
Yeah, yeah. People smoking in the coolers, and like people having naps in weird places and stuff. Like it's strange. It's a strange going on. Fuck. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. But there's some strange stuff goes on at night shift at the grocery store. It did when I worked there anyway. It was interesting. It was funny.
Oh yeah.
But the food people were way better to deal with. Like when I worked at the bakery and stuff, it was way. People took pride in like being able to cook good food, and they wanted to give people good food, and it was kind of more. I don't know. It was a bit more focused.
Yeah.
But it is a lot like the Bear. if they're interested in watching. That's really good. Like it's really good, and especially like I've never worked with like a high level chef like that or whatever. But it's just stressful being on the line. Stressful, people yelling orders at you, and you're trying to constantly memorize everything that's coming through, and yeah, it's different.
Perfect a plate, and
yeah,
you know the. Do you watch any of those like Master Chefs and stuff?
I did for a bit, and the end really likes them.
I like that stuff too.
I don't do reality TV; it drives me crazy.
It's funny. I want to say I don't like reality TV, but I do watch probably more than I like Bar Rescue and
Bar Rescue's okay. There's lots of
cooking shows I enjoy. Is that like true crime reality in that thing or no?
I don't know. Not in the same way.
Not technically. I don't watch like Big Brother and fucking shit like that though. I can't stand that shit. Like that's just total shit. Sorry if you're a Big Brother fan, Ryan. I'm not sure.
No, I did see. I think the first season of Big Brother.
Oh yeah.
There was one where a guy had one leg. His name was like Joey or something. I remember seeing that.
Joey won.
But what was the first one? Survivor. That was the original one, wasn't it?
That was one of the first reality shows I remember.
That's the 90s.
Ever.
Like, that's a 90s throwback, too, is Survivor.
Richard was the guy who won the first
Richard
season.
Hatch.
Richard Hatch, yes.
Oh,
Deep cuts.
Deep cuts coming out.
Deep cuts. All right, so should we do a little...
You want to do an intro? Whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. Give her, man. Flattener.
Flattener. Here, go ahead. Yeah, do it up.
Yeah.
No, yeah, if you want to, yeah, go for it.
All right, everybody. Welcome back.
Welcome back, folks.
We are here with Ryan G. again.
Rock.
Second returning guest to the pod.
Yes, a repeat offender once again. 97.7 Rock Grande Prairie. You fucking know him. Ryan, how are you, my friend?
Doing great. Really happy that you guys have invited me back. I've been listening to the show, and when I go for my runs, these Rick Campanelli, talk about a throwback. I haven't been watching Rick Campanelli stuff lately at all, so like that was so refreshing, and to hear it coming from you guys, it's great.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, we do appreciate that.
That was a really good conversation, though. Like I felt it was really like if you listen to other people's pods with them and stuff, it was a bit more calculated, I guess, or whatever the word is. But it felt a bit more like a open-ended conversation.
Yeah,
got some pure Rick in there. It was good,
and longer than we thought too.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like 30 minutes max kind of thing, and turned out to be an hour.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're trying here, and definitely it's uplifting to hear that people are listening somewhere, doing their thing. Yeah. At
least one
so
person.
And it's important to us to have you back. So we love to having you on the first time and getting you back. I mean, it's been a crazy summer. We've been doing lots. There's lots in the news, the music's news right now too as well. So we got a lot to probably pick your brain over and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks again for coming back on. And the year was 1985.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's my pleasure, man. Just sitting back in the trailer here, same way I do every night. And instead of just watching Beard Meets Food, I get to talk to you guys. So it's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
That's good. So yeah, how has your summer been? Last time we caught up was just before Grand Con. We kind of caught up, linked up a little bit there. That was pretty sick. You got to you were doing some panel interviews and stuff, and yeah, it's been a busy summer for you. It looks like
it has been, actually. I was just kind of thinking that today, as the doorbell at work keeps ringing and people keep asking for things, and it's been great. And I keep signing up for more. And I think when opportunity presents itself, you have to just go and surprise yourself of like what you're capable of or how much energy you actually have left, but I'm making sure that I'm signing up for stuff now too that I want to be doing before the schedule fills up with requests that I'm happy to do. But there's other stuff I'd like to make sure I do, like this UFC thing coming up around the corner. I got my first media credentials, and so I'm going to do my show from Edmonton for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday that week, and then I can do the press conferences. And well, to be honest, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I just got the credentials, so I was told two things by a media reporter, MMA reporter that I talked to privately. He said, just show up, wear a nice shirt, and don't get photos with any of the fighters. That's not professional, I guess. So I was like, okay.
But hey, you'll be prepared with some dandy questions because you are a fan, right? So I was going to bring that up too. So I'm glad you brought it up first. But yeah, like UFC coming to Edmonton, and that's going to be super cool to be, have credentials and be, asking people for the press conference and stuff like that. Because I'm a big fan too. So the press conference is always a huge part of the whole event. And yeah, so you're gonna do the show down there as well, and then do the what all goes on for UFC during the whole UFC week?
They're gonna send me an email at some point that details the exact events. But as far as I can tell, just like you, man, I'm a huge fan. So this is my chance to I'll probably be grinning just ear to ear the whole time. And but there's press conference, there's fighter meetings. There's the weigh-in, then there's the ceremonial weigh-in, and just the stuff I've seen on YouTube, and it's all at Rogers Place, so a chance to go behind the scenes there and see what the media room looks like. And since it's Sportsnet, which is a Rogers thing, I've reached out and I said, hey, I'm coming down, and I guess they're working on figuring out how they can use me. So
sick.
It's an awesome opportunity, and I'm just glad I make sure that I get to do this stuff too. It sounds like I'm complaining, but sometimes I just don't know where the time goes. You know what I mean?
For sure, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a busy week for you. But like I said, you're a fan, and
it's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be. I'm sure it won't be your last one, right? You'll want to keep doing these big events. Anything that comes around to Edmonton, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, it seems like it'll be a barrel of fun. Especially like for a first time round kind of thing, like you're just there to kind of take it in, which is cool. Especially as a fan, right? That makes it worth it to be fun,
right? And you got
there's no expectations. They didn't ask, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna help us? They just said you're approved. So
nice.
And that you'll be like representing 97.7 Rock, or you'll be kind of just as your own kind of media personality.
I'll definitely be part of the Rock brand.
Right.
So
you'll have.
I'm thinking if I can bust up some clips and send them around, even to the other Rock stations in Medicine Hat and Lethbridge and all these places, then they can use these clips, and we can get people to make a trip to Edmonton, hopefully, and say, hey, this is the greatest mixed martial arts talent Canada has on display, all in one night, capped off with two of the best featherweight fighters in the world, as Rose Namajunas takes on Aaron Blanchard.
That's right.
And fan favorite Derek Lewis in the co-main event.
Oh, Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis, yeah.
My balls are hot. That was one of his lines.
That was the best.
After one of his wins. No, that's gonna be fun, man. Like I've never been to a UFC fight before, and I'm a huge fan, but never been to a official. I've been to a lot of MMA shows, but not official UFC. I wonder how. I heard it's like next level type shit.
Oh yeah. I've been to 3 or 4.
Oh shit!
The first was the UFC 98 in 2007 when Lyoto Machida knocked out Rashad Evans to win the light heavyweight championship.
Wow!
And dude, it was so amazing to see the knockout in real life, and to think to see him raise the belt, and he's so emotional and telling everybody anything is possible. And I just remember believing it. Like. This is awesome. It's so inspiring,
Mm-hmm. That's a throwback too. Not many people, Lyoto Machida, the dragon.
That's crazy. Yeah. Even I know what you're talking about there. That's how old that is.
Yeah, no.
I haven't been following it for a while, but yeah, I know what you're talking about there. That's awesome.
Yeah. And you had experience. I mean, you interviewed Forrest on the panel, right? Too. So it's not Forrest Griffin this past summer at Grand Con as well. So it's not going to be. You'll be in your element too. I feel.
I think so, but I am finding that I make huge assumptions on anyone who's not a musician. I just don't know as much about their life and who they are and what their mindset might be. And I sometimes step right in it, like all the time with hockey players, especially, and MMA fighters so far. Like I interviewed Donald Cowboy Cerrone. He was filming a movie in Edmonton that's coming out soon called Puppy Love.
Wow.
And the son of a famous Hollywood actor is in the movie too. And I didn't know when I had the Cowboy Cerrone interview that the son of the famous I got to remember who the famous actor is. I didn't know he was coming too. So when I went to the door to let Cowboy in and that guy was standing behind him, I had a mini heart attack because I didn't have any questions prepared. And I don't really know how to handle these people. And I stepped all over Cowboy. I got names wrong. It was bad. It was bad. There's a reason the video's not out.
Well, sometimes you got to eat it to learn.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's exactly how you learn, man.
I tried to look it up quick, but I can't. I don't have the fast fingers like that.
Don't have the Googleization of that.
No. It's when you're sprung on things like that, it's hard to think on the fly because you are kind of nervous and you do just want to have a good interview and do a good job, but at the same time, you don't want to come across as like someone who's just full of shit.
Yeah. Just have questions, pre-prepared questions, and this is all.
So you kind of want to do a little bit of pre-interview,
research,
whatever it is. Yeah,
deep dives into people's personal lives.
Yeah, a little
like
bit.
Nerdware.
Yeah, well, you want a connection. You want a rhythm with these people.
Yeah,
and that's where you have to make a move. You can't just be on the outside kind of poking at them. You kind of want to and I guess it works because you get a reaction even if you're wrong, and it's more entertaining than if you just hit them an easy shot and they passed it back to you. Like a lot of MMA media, we're talking about that these days. They ask the same questions every time, and it's so boring. So what's happened in the media space is there's this guy named MMA Guru who does his own YouTube channel, and he gets bigger numbers than ESPN MMA. He gets bigger numbers than all these outlets, and it's because he's not doing the same thing. And of course, he steps on a lot of toes. He's incredibly insulting at times, but he's the biggest, and he's the whole game. I think that's why Ariel Helwani quit what he was doing, and he started his own kind of separate company now that focuses on boxing and wrestling and a couple other things. He was the biggest in the sport, and he's basically, I think, reading the tea leaves or whatever and saying, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, he's more. Yeah, he does more like his Ariel's thing is more his podcast now and stuff like that. He still has a lot of like fighters, but he has wrestlers on there as well. He has kind of a wider range of things. Not. I guess I don't know if he does the MMA hour still or not, but no, it's good to see someone kind of stepping out of the box and doing their own thing, and it kind of like you need to ruffle a little feathers to maybe get the eyes on you or stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm not too familiar with MMA Guru, but it definitely knows.
Yeah.
I know. I have heard of it, and
yeah.
So it's it's.
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn.
That's the actor. Yeah. Sean Penn. So Sean Penn's son looks exactly like him, and he just doesn't. He's just not exactly the young version, but he doesn't care. Like you could tell he's not from here. The way he talks and everything, it's just like it's a different kind of way of treating people, I think, because he's been treated differently his whole life. So when he's in Edmonton, it just seems like so foreign. Like he doesn't have any kind of, I don't know, like thumb on the pulse of the people out there. So it was super different.
That's funny.
I don't know how many sons he has, but I remember he had a son that was on, I don't know if it was a Jackass episode or I know Sean Penn was in the clip as well. And I don't know if they think they put paint over someone's car.
Yeah, he's in one of those.
Does he have like a kind of a obscure kind of name? His first name? Is it weird? Like
Hopper.
Okay, yeah, it is. I think it's
Hopper Penn.
Same kid, yeah. And he was only probably 10 or 12 at the time. I think they might have got him to like throw paint over someone's car or something.
Yeah, it was on. Well, yeah, whatever Jackass V was made.
Or maybe it could have even been like what was that other show?
Wild Boys or
like the one Ashton Kutcher was on.
Pranked Pranked?
Was it?
Punked.
That's it. Like, what the hell is it?
Yeah, that was those were some good early reality shows.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
MTV
those.
stuff. Yeah,
that was still early enough where it was still new.
Yeah,
I'm getting sidetracked.
Was no sidetracked, I guess.
That's my brain.
That's my
What's
brain.
those? When you say reality, do you ever find yourself wondering like where the line is between reality and production, or can you just let yourself enjoy it without thinking too much?
For me personally, I hate it. I hate it when people are trying to play off reality, but you can just tell it's scripted. Yeah. That's the part that I don't like.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't do reality. Like, I don't do reality TV. It's just not. I watched the first season of Survivor, the first season of Big Brother, only because they were kind of different at the time, and I was like, well, what is this? It was kind of everybody watched it kind of thing. Beyond that, man, I just don't. I can't do it. Even like cooking shows or like I don't know any of that stuff. It just after like an episode or two, it's just like it's too much fake drama. It's too much. You know what I mean? Like you can tell everything's very cut just for TV. Like they're making muffins and then the fucking world is burning down around them, kind of thing, and they're having big meltdowns and stuff. Like it's like this isn't real.
Well, the thing I hate too is when they edit it in such a way where they say before a commercial it'll almost be like the end is gonna explode and like everything is blowing up, blah 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 blah. But then when they come back from commercial break, it's like, oh, it wasn't even a big thing. It's just like every commercial break has this big cliffhanger. It's just like, fuck, just fucking tell me what you guys are doing. It's like, so it's like that overproduced kind of edited thing that and Bar Rescue is famous for that too. I'm a guilty. I like the bar. Part of my brain always wanted to be a bartender or something like that. So like I watched the show and before every commercial break there's almost this big cliffhanger. Yeah. But then when they come back from commercial break, it's like, oh well, it was just nothing. Like
and Annie added more flour and everything was fine.
I was like, oh fuck, like guys, like take it easy.
Yeah, but like stuff like Vice documentary stuff is cool. Like that type of reality stuff is cool or whatever. But like I don't like the contest thing and stuff like that. Like it's just I don't know. Like Love Island and Bachelorette or whatever bullshit.
That's a hard no for me.
Yeah, I can't get that way. But like when Bourdain was doing his thing, like to me that's a reality show. Like he's technically, as much as it's filmed and put back together, it's still a reality show. Like he's out in Taiwan, doing whatever on the street, talking to people, eating food.
Yes,
that kind of thing. Stuff like that, I don't mind.
That's more my vibe too.
Yeah.
How about you? What do you get into besides?
What's your guilty pleasure when it comes to reality stuff?
Oh man, with reality, if you say true crime counts as reality, over the last few years I've watched so much of it, but I actually had to turn it off because I found it was really, really creepy and weird, and I was like hung up on all these things. So like lately, I've been really working on not polluting my mind with all this crap, because there's a real responsibility I find these days in using the internet and not like just dumping garbage into your head, so like Twitter, even I deleted the app a week and a half ago. Still have it on my computer at home, so if I want to check it out and laugh, I can, but I'm not doom scrolling. Mm-hmm. That
Twitter is bad for that,
where you just you look at one political thing and then it's like they predict that you might want to see, and it just seems to progress into like crazy violence and all this stuff where I'm watching it and I'm wondering where the world's going, and then I'm like, meanwhile, my actual life is in a standstill because I'm gripped by this world news. So I'm like, oh man. So I just backed right off, and yeah, man, now I'm shooting pellets in my backyard. Yeah. I'm building an extension on my fifth wheel. I'm really, really doubling down on just doing the stuff I like, and that makes me happy,
Nice. That's what it's all about, though.
The doom scrolling is, I think, a real problem, and definitely Twitter was one of those things too. And even just creating arguments out of the simplest things, whether it be hockey, Leafs versus Canadians. We hate each other.
Everything's an argument.
Whether it's
everything's an argument. It's just an argument machine.
For in wrestling terms, WWE versus AEW. Whether it's political, Republican, Democrat. Whether it's liberal, conservative. It's all, everything is a battle on, and it's you constantly get caught up in everyone's bullshit, and one person's opinion could just set you off, where it's just like, and you just want to fucking own this motherfucker, but like, there's no good that ever comes from that.
I don't engage. That's one thing. I think engaging online is the worst of it. Like, once you get past, because I find it's like once you get past the doom scroll, now you're engaging, and that's way worse. Engaging in this nonsense online, like just faceless shit. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing I mean, it goes nowhere technically, but you're creating this drama, and now it's in your head. And I don't know. Twitter's weird to me. Like, we have it for our podcast, but like I don't scroll it. I don't even use it anymore because it's just. And it's mostly bots, which is the other part of Twitter, which makes it worse again, because like the bots are perpetuating this nonsense. Like, it's horrible, right? Like, I don't know.
It's a whole other thing.
Yeah, it's the worst to me. Like, as much as like I'm cool with everybody, with the free speech aspect of Twitter, it's super overloaded with bullshit. Like, it's just most of it is complete nonsense, and the other half of it is pretty much bots. So it's just like. To me, it's bullshit. Yeah. Like, Twitter is just a bunch of bullshit in reality. Like, it's a worthless app.
You're getting mad over AI talking shit.
Yeah.
So I deleted Twitter too. I don't have Twitter. Like, it's like I said, it's not something I have. I probably lose most of my free time on Instagram as it is for the podcast. But I think that's more of a positive, I think, than
I'm looking for good information. Yeah. Like, I'm looking for information. That's another portion I find, right? Like, being fed stuff, because you get caught in once you get caught on in the algorithm, now you're stuck in it. Like, it's hard to get yourself away from certain aspects. And if you're like me, like, I find I'm watching one thing, and then the first conspiracy video or something that pops up or some nonsense like that, I'm like, oh, what the hell is that? And then now I'm down this rabbit hole for the next 2 hours scrolling fucking flat earthers and complete craziness, like, for no reason, like, other than it's mildly entertaining and it's easy to keep going. Like, I don't know, it's nonsense, right? Yeah. But I'm slowly.
I could have had the blonde mode. I could have had the, you know what I mean?
Could have done a lot of other things. Yeah.
I could have learned a song in 2 hours.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Right? Could have done something completely not sitting here staring into a phone.
That's what I feel like that. Fucking social media. Ryan, what are we going to do with social media?
Man,
what are we doing here?
It doesn't seem optional anymore.
No.
They make you feel like an oddity if you're not on it. It's the only reason I post once in a while on Instagram, is to let people know I'm still like a normal guy. I'm not some like weird hermit living a limited life. I post a photo of me smiling and laughing, like, hey, yeah, I'm doing great out here, by the way.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like if you have to let people know, even though it doesn't really matter. But I guess maybe it does matter. Maybe I downplay it so much that I'm doing myself a disservice. Like, it just, you gotta. It's not the worst if you can do it, I guess. Like you say, Instagram, I see my friends on there, and I see you guys on there. I see stuff that's positive. Yeah. So like in some sense, my Twitter habits poured into my Instagram now. I'm probably on there more often. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, I would say you want to keep it positive, right?
Yeah. It's just hard to get away. Like, I mean, like, I don't really watch mainstream news. Not like, like our parents kind of like sit down, turn the news on. Like, I don't do that. It's like most of my news comes through that way kind of thing. And I kind of like same thing. I don't really wait for the news to be fed to me. You kind of go look for it. So like, you kind of go down those routes looking for it. So there's good stuff to it. And there's sort of a necessity to it, but same late. I don't know. Lately, I've been kind of thinking to myself, like, oh man, fucking social media is just garbage. Like, everything feels repetitive and everything feels.
Everyone's got an agenda.
Yeah, just something about it. Like, it's all convoluted or whatever lately. It's not the same as it was. Not that it was always any bit of fun except for in the beginning, but I don't know. It's weird now. It's very weird.
Well, I can feel if it's genuine or if it's someone's trying to feed me some bullshit to steer me one way or the other. You know what I mean?
100%.
Especially if it's any news related or political fucking
bullshit.
Yeah,
and it's very same thing, right? It's left or righty, a lot of that going on, and you can't be in between because heaven forbid you just like what you like. You have to agree with someone or whatever. It's all that foolishness, right? So it gets a bit weird. I don't know. Social media is weird, but in the other side of it, it gets pushes like we'll change gears and get into. I want to talk to you about Oasis.
Yeah,
because this to me is like
a lot of musical news.
To me, this is like a social media push in a way, right? Like, people have been talking about it now for a few years. There's been a lot more push online, and I think it's finally reached the right ears, I guess, or whatever. And I know that most of the reunion, I'm sure, is based around money, but
50 mil.
Good for the guys for putting it back together and attempting this. I don't know how many of the 10 shows they got planned or whatever will actually go ahead, but we'll see. So what do you think of that, Ryan, man? And especially for a guy in the music world, what do you think about this reunion?
It's incredible. I didn't think it was ever going to happen, actually. And I don't say that about most reunions. Like when Alexis on Fire got back together, I called that weeks before. And awkwardly enough, I was working at a radio station that was part of their comeback. So I blew it somehow without having any knowledge of the fact that they were about to reunite. But I just went on the radio and said, hey, I have a weird feeling Alexis on Fire is going to come back. I don't, and there's this, but for Oasis, I'm into it. The music they made while they were away individually was great. You know, Noel Gallagher never stopped making great music, and Liam Gallagher never stopped making great music. And they never folded to all the pressure over all these years, which somehow makes this moment special, you know, because there has been waves of demand that came and gone over the years. And man, I think it's great. I don't think I'll be lining up and dropping a few $100 to see him, even though I've never seen him. And there was a time in my life where I thought I'd swear I would, but I love the stories about how they fell apart, you know, like backstage at festivals in Paris and fist fights and stuff. And I admire that kind of passion. Like it almost takes a effort to stay that mad at your brother, you know, like siblings aren't easy, but that's so heated. And did you ever see there's a festival footage of Oasis performing and Liam intentionally butchers the words to all the songs that they're singing just to piss off Noel Gallagher? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I never seen that one.
And I was like, I don't know, whatever. I want to say Glastonbury or whatever. It's one of those big festivals. And then the last show they played, like he wouldn't fucking sing. He just sat there, right? Liam just sat on the fucking drum riser and made Noel sing all the songs and whatever. And where was the other one? It's the MTV Unplugged. Liam goes up in the balcony and starts heckling him from the fucking balcony and shit.
That's right.
Gets on the beer and gets crazy and starts heckling.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Oh, that's a good one, man. I mean, it's like you can I wasn't there obviously, but you can feel the tension through the TV, man. Like he's like gets pissed off, goes up in the balcony with a beer and like sticks his feet up on the fucking ledge and starts heckling him from there. It's like, what the fuck?
That is crazy.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
Those guys are nuts, man. Like, and that's what kind of makes me excited about it in a way. Like, I'll never get there. It's gonna be, hundreds, well, probably tens of thousands of dollars if we really wanted to do it. But I'm excited to see if it goes down. I want to see what happens between now and next year, if they can do this or not. Yeah, because
can make a beautiful video on YouTube, you know, like if they live stream it. I think they said they're not going to film it though, so
no,
it might be the kind of thing. Yeah,
but
yeah, it might be the kind of thing where you have to be there.
Yeah, that's what they say. They're not going to televise it. They're just you have to show up, kind of thing. So it'd be sick to go to the Wembley shows. Of all the shows on the list, I think that would be the coolest. Yeah. Go to Wembley Stadium.
I mean, that would be, like you said, that'd be a $10,000 trip.
Oh, easy. Tickets are not like.
I heard maybe the one Canadian stop would be Toronto, and even that alone would be. I mean, you'd spend a lot of money just for flights and hotels and tickets alone, and that'd be a big money weekend there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big enough fan to drop that kind of cash on that kind of thing. Personally,
for you personally, Ryan, if you. What kind of big money would you spend on who? Like, who would you drop that cash for? Who would make you want to go the extra mile and go see in concert?
Tom Waits. You guys know Tom Waits?
Tom Waits.
Yeah. He's a guy that never leaves the southern states, and he's so incredible. And I guess there's something about him that just seems like it would never happen. But I could see doing a few $100, to see Tom. There's a few artists that I would do it for. It depends on the moment. I like spontaneity, so like if the show's coming up and there's an opportunity, I'd jump on that. But if it's too planned out, if it's too many months in advance, I might not do it. But because then I'll think about it, and then in my mind it's already done. Like, I don't know.
I know.
Buying the tickets was all the dopamine you needed.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, in a way. I treated myself already, and then now I have to go and do it. Like, okay, I do love concerts, but it doesn't sound like a good attitude, but I do love concerts. And yeah, Tom's great. Liam Gallagher, to me, is obviously everyone says it, but he's like one of the world's true living rock stars, and the way he carries himself all the time, and the way he one taked I think most of his records, it sounds like he's in a room and he just walks in and he sings it in one take. And in some cases, Noel will hand him the lyrics. He'll read them once and then he'll sing them, and then that was it. And that's what you're hearing on the album. And it's just, there's something to be said for that.
Yeah. Capturing
Capturing a moment and not trying to make it like a perfect thing, you know, lightning in a bottle, right?
Yeah, no, it's a, I think it's a special thing, because even like before all this was announced, we talked about it with Bill Welichka, actually, like a reunion with Oasis, and we talked about all that stuff, and he said he thought it was coming as well, like he could see it happening, but you know, maybe if they went to Edmonton, I mean, I don't see that ever happening, but if they did, you know, that, because
I do an Edmonton trip
like
for it.
like Metallica were just up around this neck of the woods. And I don't know if you're a fan of Metallica, but now I have the regrets. I got the regrets. I would have really liked to have been there. Honestly, I don't know if you're a huge fan or not, but that looked like a fucking hell of a 2-night fucking extravaganza.
It did, yeah.
Oh, I felt the same. I watched every single piece of fan shot footage. And the same thing where I just talked myself out of it, because I lived in Edmonton for a long time, and going back now just feels so laborious. But seeing the fan shot footage, I thought, man, I screwed up. Pantera, Phil Anselmo. It seems like these guys shouldn't exist anymore. And maybe it's because some of their bandmates are gone, but it's like living legends in the flesh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked incredible. And everybody that went had a great time. And it's a reminder that there's a little bit more to life than the rat race or grinding or getting to sleep on time. You know, I'm every morning I get up and I exercise, and then I make breakfast, and then I ride to work, and then I do prep, and then I do my show, and then I ride home, then I go for a run, then I watch YouTube, and then I go to bed, and I do it over and over again. And I love it because it's so streamlined, and it's so I love it. But at the same time, how do you break free from that long enough to do something cool, or to, you know, spice up your life a little bit? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. It's tough too to make those calls. Like, I felt like that when I went and seen Rolling Stones. Like, I'm not a humongous Rolling Stones fan, but
they were in your city.
They're in my city. Well, I'm not going to not go. And at the time, I mean, tickets were fairly cheap. Like, it was $120 to go see the Stones and Kanye West and Sloan and Alice Cooper. And, like, it was a really good show. Shit. And so I was like, well, fuck that. I have to go. Like, $120. Like, I'll never get this chance again. But it's I probably wouldn't have had to drive somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, it was a couple hours away. I probably wouldn't have. But, yeah, fuck, whatever. But I don't know. Metallica didn't bug me so much. But there's been a few that's come by. Like, we missed Royal Republic last year when they came through. They played 2 nights in there. And I missed the Darkness when they came through. So there's been a couple shows this last year or whatever, last 12 months kind of thing anyway. Yeah. Shit, should have went to that.
Yeah, for me, it's that ticket price. Initially, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I can't really justify a $500 ticket. And now, and not only that, I have to buy 2. I have to bring someone with me. I have to bring my fiance, or a friend has to come too, or, you know, he's got to buy a ticket or whatever. And then it's a hotel, it's the gas, it's the food. And then it's like a 3-night thing, because it's a 2-night
event.
I guess if you could do 1, but you know, you'd kind of want to do 2 of them. But then, sure enough, on so what was was it Friday and Sunday, or was it Saturday? I don't know what there was a day off in between, and I think it was a Friday and Sunday night show. But I had a coworker who was down there, and she's like, I got 2 tickets if you can make it down. She's like, you'd have to, you know, I'm like, I had to work the next day, and we're short staffed as it is, and and I had to work the next day. She's like, if you can make it down, you can leave early after work and come down, and then, you know, and then I'd have to call in sick the next day or whatever. Like, theoretically I would, but even that, I was like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. But now I fucking regret it. I should have made it the fucking decision and go.
Yeah.
But hey, that's life, I guess.
Yeah, you don't want to get too good at talking yourself out of things. And that's a real skill where you can kind of like come up with a reason why nothing's worth it, or I don't know, like, not, you know, it's funner to count yourself in. You're right though about the money. I mean, I guess I didn't want to admit that's a part of it, because it's money. You don't want to be like, oh, I need to keep my money. I'd rather have money than a great time. It's like, no, I'm not that guy. But to be serious, it's kind of the world we live in. You got to pick your shots, I guess. And we do get some good shows here, which kind of keep me happy, like Friday tomorrow.
Oh, I was just about to bring it up. Oh, baby. What? Are you going to Kim Mitchell tomorrow? Patio Lanterns, baby?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Little slice of Canadiana. 72 years old, I think, Kim Mitchell. I didn't know he was that old, but
yeah, man.
He sounds great from everything I've seen. He hasn't lost a step or nothing.
Oh, man. I can't wait. It's a free show, at downtown Grande Prairie tomorrow night. And a great local opening act. And you met him the other day. You posted a picture with him.
Yeah, a band called Hey Driver.
Oh, yes.
Featuring a local guy named Brent Boyven, who I seen in a cover band. And, you know, growing up in Grande Prairie, there wasn't much of a music scene. I went to Edmonton and I worked really hard to get into the music scene as deep as I could. And it worked. I played in it. I met everybody, had my mind blown. So when I came back to Grande Prairie, I didn't know what to expect. And I seen Brent Boyven band and they were really good. And now to find out Brent's the frontman of Hey Driver, I'm anticipating a really cool show. And I guess I'm bringing them to the stage at 7 p.m. tomorrow. So that's going to be fun. I got to bring some politicians to the stage too, like the mayor and some MLA.
No, just kidding. Just kidding.
I do think about that though, or I'm fine with it. I'm not going to not do it, but it's you want to be respectful, and I don't know their names and stuff, so I'm gonna have to like, how do you say this name? Is that you? Yeah, well, you know, I talk about stepping on people's toes. This is a great opportunity to step on the toes of all the string pullers in the city.
Locals. That's all right. Everybody gets a little bit.
I don't want to say too much, just in case anyone.
Everybody gets canceled
here. Technically, I work far under the same umbrella. I'll just put it that way. I've never actually said what I do on the pod, but I
hey, fair enough.
Hey, guess what? I'm in a union. You can't get rid of me too easily. Oh, no, it's funny. So I don't mean to boo anyone, but just me with politicians.
Just joking.
I'm just joking. That's it. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Backpedal.
Just backpedaling over here. But yes.
But I will say the best part is getting to bring Mr. Kim Mitchell to the stage as well. So that will be, yeah, man. That's a moment I'm going to calm down for and hopefully enjoy. You know, I mean, nobody wants to be on stage and standing in front of people and the last thing they see before the thing they want to see, the thing they came for, like, you know, but it's going to be fun. I'm honored that they asked me. Obviously, it gets me out of the house. And socially, it's going to be a good thing because I could introduce myself to a big group of people and then go join them. And that means I'm going to have the chance to meet a lot of new people. And that's the best part, is just being a friend to a lot of people. And that's awesome, you know?
No, it's a good opportunity, right? It's a great thing. It's a great event the city's been putting off for the last few years.
Last year was really good as well.
They've had good turnouts,
lots of support,
as well.
Lots of turnout.
Yeah, and it's like you said, to get that opportunity to introduce a Canadian rock legend like Kim Mitchell. You got to take those when they come.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
This will be my second time seeing Kim Mitchell. I saw him for the first time at BJ's Q Club, which is now the that music store down. What's that? Long and McQuaid. Yes. Yeah. So that Long and McQuaid used to be BJ's, and they had some serious bands in there, and that's where I saw Kim Mitchell for the first time.
Wow, I remember BJ's. I didn't even piece it together. That is Long and McQuaid now. Yeah, BJ's. They used to show the UFC fights on one TV upstairs in. I think there was an upstairs, and it was like an isolated room.
Little loft.
It was like, I remember that. That was, and then my buddy's band played there.
The Buck 5 band
Tainted,
was the house band.
I think they were called Tainted Joe. What's that?
I think they had a house band too called the Buck 5 band. I don't know if that rings a bell.
The Buck 5 band.
But they had they had some serious covers that were just awesome. I actually seen Matt Mays there too.
Oh, nice.
That was a fucking hell of a show.
I'd say, especially if it was like OG Matt Mays.
Yeah, so yeah, that probably would have been like 06 or 07.
Yeah, so like second album era.
That's it.
That was when Matt, like that's when he had a good, like, not to say that first ATYW wasn't good, but that was they were stellar. That second group of musicians that he had backing him was awesome. Yeah, that was when I was in school. All that stuff was going on.
We need
you guys know your music.
We need more local venues to do that. You know what I mean? Like we have Fred's. God bless Fred, John.
God bless
Fred's.
John at Fred's.
But you know, we had the Rock City, the Corral. You know what I mean? Back in the day, I seen Airborne there. Got permanent ear damage in my left ear.
Airborne melt your face off.
Yeah, you know
so
what I mean?
loud.
BJ's had good bands as well. You know, like the city was rocking in the mid to late 2000s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I think
even the festivals.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
what happened to those ones outside the city? Like, why not string together 4 '90s Canadian bands on one night and 5 on the next? And
that's something that's something I've been considering, I guess is the word, but like I've been in my notebook of great ideas that I constantly run. That's an idea that's in my book. Is I'd like to figure out a place and then like a weekend to do 2 festivals a year. So like one at the beginning of summer, one towards like this time of year, and it'd be kind of Canadian themed, right? So like some legends and some of the new, you know, stuff that's coming up, you know, like the Beaches and all these bands that are like packing shows in the States right now, technically speaking. We could have a huge festival here because everybody comes this way, you know, Calgary, Edmonton, you know, going towards Kelowna, Vancouver, whatever, going that direction. Easily could be put this thing together or whatever. So that's something that I've been thinking about. Like, how do we manage that? Because it would be sick to have a couple of rock, like, and that's to take away from country, because that's a thing here. And as much as I don't partake necessarily, it's for people. Yeah. But there's something we need to get some more rock shows with some, you know, guitar bands kind of thing, right? Like, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, we had one called SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, yeah, in it the first year I showed up here.
That I mean, I seen Sam Roberts' band there, Our Lady Peace, Thornley was there one year, Sheepdogs played at that one time.
Mm-hmm. Sheepdogs.
That was even before they were what they were. Local Edmonton bands, you know, local stuff. Even we had the East Coast Garden Party here. Yeah. Arkells played at that. One year.
Class 5.
I miss those rock festivals.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I would agree.
And I think that's something that Grande Prairie is seriously lacking. And Sam, if you build it, they will come.
I believe so. I'll tell you, like, something to follow along if you're not following along, whichever direction I'm pointing here, is check out, was it Churchill Hill Music Festival? It's in St. John's, but like they put off 2 festivals this year, right? So it was over the course of a couple different weekends. They had Shania Twain was the latest one, over 3 nights, sold out. Madness, Shania blowing it up. And then they had Arkells was the headliner for the weekend prior to that, but like same thing, brought up a bunch of local bands in the beginning.
Nickelback they had,
and then Nickelback was the night previous. Like really whoever was putting that together, because they put it off the big barbecue, it was like a big block party. Same idea. They had like, you know, 10,000 people show up to a block party. It's like awesome. So yeah, like that kind of premise I think would work well here. I think it's something that is being missed for sure. And I think because Grande Prairie is becoming bigger and it's becoming more of a hub for this area, I think it would go over, you know, like anything. It would just be, if you could get it together, I don't think it would be a big deal to get people to come.
Yeah. Got to get some investors here. We'll put it off.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, like
float it around.
Waynesville too.
Yeah,
You know?
Put the idea out in the world. We'll get it going.
We're putting it. It's in the ether right now.
Yeah, you only got to speak it. If not, you know, if you don't speak it out, it will never come true. That's how it works.
It's wild what happens when you say things out loud. Absolutely. I mean, you gotta go. You mentioned Airborne, loudest band I'd ever seen was Motorhead.
Oh.
And I was at the Edmonton Event Center, and my brother and I went, and my dad gave us earplugs, before we went. And I was like, yeah, I guess I might use them. We had them in, and then I seen my brother take one out, and I was like, well, I'll take one out too, because I want to hear Motorhead. Like, I'm not going to only hear them through an earplug. So one was out, one was in, and the next day one of my ears was ringing like, beep. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's the only band that's ever done that.
Smash your eardrums.
Yeah. The Rock City was a small place. I mean, relatively. I think there were like 350 people there. But I pushed my way to the front, and I was like right next to the speaker on the left side. And man, did my ears take a beating that night. Never recovered.
Probably not.
Technically.
They're loud, man. They're loud dudes, man. They're loud. Seen them at an outdoor show, and they're loud.
That's wicked, yeah.
I wasn't even close. I was like, holy shit, this is loud. Good show, though. Pause it right now.
Yeah, no, that's...
Australian rock, man. That's where it's at. I've been really hooked on Australian rock for the last, I don't know, however long.
They got some shit going on.
They do, man. Fucking Emil and the Sniffers. If anybody's into a little bit of old school punk rock, it's a good Australian band coming up. Toured with Foo Fighters recently. I don't know, whatever their last leg is. Really good band. What's the other one I was looking at? Dude, I have to take out my phone. I don't have my phone. There's a couple other Aussie bands I've been following along lately. It's where the good music's coming from. Everybody wants to play rock and roll down there. It's sweet.
Yeah, they still have the fun culture, like the Lazies.
Yeah,
you know,
Lazies are really good.
I've seen them recent, but just the way they carry themselves. It reminds me when I was doing backpacking in Europe in 2006, and
nice.
everywhere you go, no matter what hostel, there's a group of 3 or 4 Australian or New Zealanders. I don't know, and they're so easygoing and fun-loving, and everywhere they go, they're having the time of their lives, and everybody is attracted to being around them. And it's just like, without fail, no matter where you go at the hostel, there's going to be a group of fun-loving Aussies there that just make it, that have this energy that doesn't discern. It's just everything and everyone around them gets love, and you're just like, damn, I'm not like that. I feel my shortcomings are being exposed, you know, like I can be like that, but I'm not always like that. And you can't fake that. And you kind of just have to live with the fact that some people got it and some people don't, you know.
It's that Aussie charm, I guess, yeah.
It's the Islanders, man. It's all Islanders. Most Islanders have a charm to them with something about it. And not just because we're from Newfoundland or anything, but just in general. Like, you think about it, if you talk about Islanders in general, most of them are fairly easy to get along with. Everybody's pretty chill. I think it's because Australia is just hard to live in general, because everything's trying to kill you at every turn.
Yeah.
So if you can do normal things, life is awesome.
But
yeah,
how many countries did you go to backpacking in Europe? That's always something I always thought that would be cool too. Was that like just an after a high school thing, or?
Yeah. It was one of those. Hey, you're told to get it in before life really starts to gridlock. And I went, I think, 9 countries in 45 days, which is, you know, that includes like 2 weeks or a week in Nice, and some places we stayed longer because either we were broke or it was really good and cheap. But so like we landed in Frankfurt, and the next day we were in Amsterdam, you know. And we hung out there for a few days, and then we had to move on. So it was, we went to the Van Gogh Museum. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't all debauchery, but
all red light district.
Oh gosh. Do you want a story?
Yeah.
I grew up.
Hell yeah.
I grew up on this trip, man. Like when I got home, I had to have a conversation with myself. So like red light district, you know, we went to this coffee shop, you know, and ordered like, hey, what's your most powerful stuff? And we smoked it and had a great time. And then we're drinking beers. And then next thing you know, it's the end of the night. And we all go outside, and the whole district's empty and was bustling before with like thousands and thousands of tourists and girls in the window and all of this. Suddenly it's empty. So the 3 of us say, okay, we're going to walk home, but let's take a second to collect ourselves before we go. So we're like, okay. And next thing I know, I'm in the canal, and I'm splashing around
Oh, no.
trying to find my way up the walls. And they're sharp brick, and it's like European architecture, so it's not like new brick. They're bricks that are crumbling and cutting my arms. And anyway, I eventually crawled out of the water, and I looked around, and it was a ghost town. My friends were gone, and I had no idea what was going on, and I didn't know how to get home. This was our first night in Amsterdam. So I started walking towards where I thought.
Hey, we're back.
Sorry, gentlemen.
Oh, shit happens, man.
That's all good. It's all good.
So I can continue the story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, continue the story.
You had us on a cliffhanger
You
here.
did too. Perfect cliffhanger.
Yes. So I climb out of the canal, and I'm soaking wet, and I'm wandering the empty streets of Centraal Station in Amsterdam, and I start walking the directions that I think I remember the place we're staying is. And the problem is, it wasn't a hotel. It wasn't a marked place. We met a lady at the train station who said you could stay with us, with me. And so we're in some old lady's apartment, and she's got a rule that says you can't come home later than 9 p.m. And this was like 2 a.m. at this point. So I'm wandering the streets. I can't find the place. And eventually, hours later, after trying all these different directions, soaking wet and not running into a soul, I ran into these 2 girls. And in my mind, I was thinking like I had a chance at maybe both of them. So I was like kind of going with the flow, talking them up. And they're like, do you want me to call you an ambulance? And I was like, yeah, it'd probably be the right thing to do. So they do. And I keep talking to them. And I forgot they called me an ambulance. Next thing I know, this ambulance comes screaming around the corner with the lights on and the sirens. And they take me to the hospital. And they took off my clothes and they hooked me up to all these things that were like reading my body temperature, and they wrapped me up like a burrito in this tinfoil stuff, and I fell asleep. And then the next morning I woke up in this room, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I at some point I was wearing a white, those white zip up the front full body suits that you might see, like, I don't know who wears those, like people that are dealing with radioactive material or something. I don't know.
Hazmat
they
suit.
gave me hazmat suit, and all my clothes was in a garbage bag. And I said, well, I went to the doctors, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? Or the staff at the hospital, and they're like, you're free to go. I said, okay, like, I'm free to go. How do I get home? And they're like, you got to figure that out. So I left the hospital and I started walking. Again, I'm lost, but it's daytime in Amsterdam. Eventually I got on a bus that took me back to Centraal Station, and I still can't find my home or my friends. So I'm wandering around. And then I see a bus go by, and my 2 friends are on it. And I'm wearing this white suit with a garbage bag on my back. At the time, I had long hair. It was all matted across my head. And they're looking at me, pointing at me, and I'm like, what the hell? So they got off the bus. We met up. I told them this insane story. And, yeah, man, we went back to the lady's house, and she was so mad at me, and she made me get on my knees and apologize for worrying them and all this stuff. And I guess I had I got severe E. coli poisoning from the from the canal. So for the rest of the trip, I was diarrheaing, and it was bloody, and I couldn't eat anything, and I couldn't do anything cool. So when we made it to Interlaken, Switzerland, I had to stay on the toilet while my friends went climbing in the mountains. And interestingly, that was the first time I ever heard of Arctic Monkeys, because MTV Europe was playing, and I was leaning off the toilet looking around the corner into the living room. And oh man, that thing plagued the rest of my trip. But when I got home, I tell my parents, like, hey, everything was cool, there was no issues. But then 3 weeks later, a bill comes in the mail from the hospital, and the first one's for $1,300. And I thought, like, geez. And I had to explain what happened, and I made up something, and I'm not proud of it. And then they sent me another bill for $3,000 something.
Oh.
And I had to pay that one too.
Oh shit!
It was bad. But I had this conversation with myself after, where I was like, really, like, after seeing Europe and the culture and the way people carried themselves and all of this, I was like, man, I am such a downgrade from my ancestors. Like, I got to figure out, I got to be focused. I got to focus and get smart and be cultured. And, you know, I didn't do that too hard, but I did make a huge change in my life and really stop taking pride in being a obscene jerk. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. There's time to put that all down sometimes. I was a dickhead for a long time too, in that kind of way.
That's a hell of a story.
That's a hell of a story. Got E. coli.
Did you ever pass the E. coli to the point where you could enjoy the rest of your trip, or was that you were done for the rest of the whole leg of the trip?
That was pretty early. I think that was 2 or 3 days into the whole thing, and we were there for 45 days. I got past it sometime when I was in Germany and staying with my friend's family, and they were feeding me Melba toast and refused to give me anything that would upset my stomach. And oh my God, though, there was one night in this lady's house where I've been holding in all my poo because I was in so much pain from doing it so often that I didn't want to do it anymore. Mm-hmm. So for days on end, I was holding it in. And then one time in the middle of the night, I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I can't do that anymore. So I was looking around and I couldn't find the bathroom. And I didn't, so I just went in my pants and it was so much. And eventually I had to take all the clothes off, and I used every piece of clothing I had to wipe it up, and including my towels. And it was barely enough to get it all. And I didn't have a shower or nothing. So I'm standing there totally naked with crap running down my legs. And I woke up my buddy who was sleeping on the couch, and he looked at me and he's like, oh, what's that smell? And I'm like, hey, can I borrow your towel? He's like, no, you can't. And I was like, dude, just give me your freaking towel. I'll buy you a new towel. I got a problem here. And needless to say, that's an all-time story amongst me and my friends. Like, that was just me and a small group of friends, 3 of us that went backpacking. And that's the one that they'll never let me live down.
Memories.
Memories, man. But such a wake-up call.
You're still pretty close with those 2 guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been lucky. I have all my friends from junior high and high school, and we talk all the time. It's basically the only friends I still have is, well, like, I don't hang out with anybody newer than high school, really.
Yeah. I'm kind of like that, too, actually.
Yeah,
it's weird.
For the most part.
But do they still live around GP, or they're gone on?
They spread out. There's a few in Grande Prairie. I go for wings every couple of weeks with one of them, and there's another one here who helps me with stuff like on my renovations here. I'm building a little space for a wood stove. Nice. So this summer or this winter I can stay warm with a wood stove, and they're helping me figure that stuff out because they know that I'm kind of reckless and capable of great mistakes.
Not a place for making mistakes with the fire there.
Oh, you're telling me, man. This got my full attention.
That's wicked that you're putting wood stove in, though. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. It definitely wood stove is the way to go.
We're just having this chat with Shed.
Yeah.
Mark from the Shed.
Last podcast, yeah. Wood stoves and sheds and all this other stuff we were talking about on our last podcast there.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's just like, I want living to be fun. And I have itches where I feel like this would satisfy my life. Sometimes it's a book. For a long time, it was different books like Hemingway. I just thought I have to read Hemingway. This is my life, damn it. So I read like everything he's wrote besides For Whom the Bell Tolls, but I'll get there. And for some reason now the itches took me into a trailer, took me to motorcycles, and now it's going to be building this attachment and heating myself with a wood stove through the winter.
When did you start getting into riding?
Last summer.
Yeah. Something you always wanted to do, or just something that you just had a spur of the moment thing? You got it. You wanted to check that off the list?
Yeah, it just spoke to me. But as soon as I started doing it, I realized it's always been something that has been in my life. Like I grew up reading Ralph S. Mouse books and watching motorcycle Mice from Mars or whatever that show was, and
Biker Mice from
everything.
Mars.
Yeah, it all had something to do with motorcycles. So the first time I started riding, I was like, how did I not discover this before? I'm a lone wolf and I didn't have a bike. That's kind of awkward. You know what I mean?
Yeah, riding bike's fun.
Kind of good. I've never done it. Kind of goes hand in hand though with the lone wolf thing, though.
Yeah,
and
it's good, man. Yeah,
and it's just cool. It's cool. It's fucking
just
cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I like riding bike. It's fun, man. That's one thing I miss is my bike, but can't have everything.
Yeah,
I have children.
What were you riding?
I used to have a crotch rocket at one point.
You go fast?
Very fast. As fast as it'll
It's
go.
addictive.
Well, that's part of the problem. I don't really want to have that stuff anymore, I guess. Is because I'm kind of reckless on that stuff. Like a quad or something's one thing, but yeah, like a super fast bike, I'll just go as fast as I can go.
It is so fun. I didn't think I had a need for speed until I got on the highway and I was looking for another gear after hitting all my gears, and I was like, oh, because it gives you full focus. And
you have
these conversations with yourself where you're like, I better slow down. And it's like, well, why? And then you think about, like, do you prize your life? Do you prize your safety and your health? And it's a serious little conversation that just kind of like passively goes through my head. And I'm like, yeah, I do, you know?
Yeah, it's fun. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know. Do you want to become on the cheese grater? Or, I don't know. It's fun. I don't know. Now that I'm older, I don't know. I just can't see it. Like, I wouldn't mind having a bike, but I don't want to go fast like that. I don't want to be doing that shit anymore. It's too much. It's too fast. Too fast, man.
Your head is like 3 feet from the ground, going a buck 80 down the highway.
Oh, like 250, man. Like flying,
maybe,
right? Like flying down the road. Yeah, it's
wow.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's dangerous. Like I don't know. Like it's fun at the time, but now that I'm older, I'm like, no. As much as I want to, I don't have the interest. You know what I mean? Like I don't have the balls for it. Almost like I can't fathom going that fast right now.
Yeah, there's a few things I did in my youth that I won't do again. That's for sure.
No, like that kind of stuff. I was way more reckless with that kind of stuff. Even like dirt bikes and stuff. Like way more reckless on that shit. Yeah, like full tilt to the throttle all the time. Like just a nut bar.
You're a Harley guy?
Yamaha. Honda.
Honda, yeah.
I got a Honda Shadow.
Honda Shadow, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's a cruiser, 750, so I don't have to worry about going 250, but I maxed out at 160 going downhill.
Nice. It's still fast enough, man. That's fast enough.
Plenty fast.
Yeah, especially on a big honker. Some of them bikes, too, are so big, they get speed wobbles. It's like there's no control. There's no getting back from that.
Oh, yeah. And it seems to happen to more seasoned riders than me. On nicer days than I'm riding on sometimes, it's like, yeah, where does that ego come from? I don't know, but you kind of have to check it, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I don't know, like there was this guy in our shop the other day talking about he got in a bad accident. Same thing, like beautiful sunny day, just turned the corner and
went down
in the ditch, flipping over sideways kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like end over end. So you don't know, it's a bit, I don't know, it's just finicky. It's a finicky animal. And it's fun, but it's finicky.
and the roads are usually full of rocks until May, June. Sometimes it's hard to, our street cleaners aren't. We put out a lot of dirt in the wintertime. So like in the spring, there's a lot of rocks on the road and stuff like that. So yeah, it's tough to be. It's hard. It's hard, and you got to be careful for sure.
Yeah.
So be careful, Ryan. I'm telling you to be careful. Don't go too fast. Don't go too fast.
The dust has got me a few times. Because you don't necessarily see a thin layer of dust, and then you hit that accelerator, and next thing you know, your back tire's flipping out to your left, and you're suddenly in a fight for your bike and your balance and your safety.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's fun, like I say, but it can get squirrely quick. That's the whole thing. That's why I don't trust myself on something like that anymore. It's just, I don't know, it gets too squirrely too quick. Oh. Pod dog.
Oh, the dog wants out of the room here. We had a pod dog in here.
Man, I got to get a pet.
What would you get?
I got to get a cat, I think, because I'm gonna leave it in my trailer, and and hope it takes care of itself, basically.
As long as there's water and a little bit of food, life is good.
Yeah, I grew up with cats. Dogs. I have too much respect for dogs to introduce them to my life style. It's a style. I'd have to really stop doing some things, like make more room in my schedule.
It is definitely a bigger commitment, I think. I think cats are more self-sufficient. You can kind of leave them be. They're their own kind of lone wolf, so to speak, of themselves, right? You can, when you're around, they'll be affectionate and blah blah blah. But when they're by themselves, they're totally fine too.
Yeah, I only had one cat along the way. I don't know. I don't mind cats, but I don't know. I got enough people in my life to look after a dog. I don't have to always look after them.
But yeah, the dog thing is like you can't go anywhere sometimes.
There's lots of that stuff.
It's like you got to find someone to watch them.
Yeah, that's why I won't get another one. One is lots.
I think
two's tired.
Yeah, I have two, and it's enough.
I already did that once. I'm not doing it again. I'm too young.
Even puppies are more work than kittens.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh
yeah.
It's not even close.
Having a puppy is like having a little baby. Like it's for at least like 6 months. Like you're out at weird hours. You're up in the night. You're like, oh wait, man, fuck that. I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, it is a lot of work.
Yes, man. You get freaked out.
Up all hours of the night. God damn it.
I'm trying to bring the dog out for a leak so you don't piss on your floor. No way. Not interested.
Yeah.
Not interested.
And a cat can catch a few mice too if they ever get in around.
Yes.
Hopefully.
I gotta keep it away from my wood stove, though. Assuming, that could be an issue. Like, it might. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
Well, they'll only do it once. If it jumps up there or something,
well, if it's hot enough, then it'll feel it. I mean, it's not going to touch it. Something they can feel it. They'll just curl up next to it and
oh shit, this is warm.
Just lay down under, just by it.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
I think so. I don't know. Cats are weird to me. Cats are foreign objects to me. Dogs are in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I've never had a cat. I'm a little bit allergic.
I am too.
So that's Cat Hour on the year was 1985.
With the pets here tonight.
No, Ryan, what else you got coming up here for the rest of the summer and the fall? Anything cool, new, and exciting you got coming up?
Oh yeah, I got just signed on with the Grande Prairie Storm to be the game day host. So I'll be at all 26 of their home games.
Nice.
Just sort of, acting as an in-between of the organization and the public. So if there's kids that are celebrating a birthday, or if there's a U18 or U9 hockey team that's there to do what they do and take in a game and all that, then I'm going to meet them and hope make their experience more memorable and, do some of those fun games with getting people dancing and stuff in the seats. And it's I've never done it, so I don't know. I've just been shadowing. I went down there a couple nights ago and watched an exhibition game, and just got a feel for behind the scenes and what my responsibilities might be. It actually has me super nervous, which is funny because I always do stuff like this, but until I do it once, I'm gonna go over it in my head and think about how I might let them down if I don't take it seriously, and it always works out. But I still go through all of this. It's going to be the same for Kim Mitchell. I'm sure I'm going to have to remember to take a breath and enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's a wicked honor. That's pretty cool.
No, that's great. You're
cool.
Working with the Storm. I love it because that's a great local thing that helps a lot of. It's an escape from it helps the community. It's a lot of community involvement. It's a lot of that, right? And I know the head coach, Coach Chris.
Okay.
He's a former NHLer. Former Olympic. He was in the 2010 in Vancouver. He played for Germany.
Oh yeah.
He's from Beaver Lodge, but he's got a German background, and he actually played for for Germany, and he played for the LA Kings for a little while too. So
Yeah.
but I work with him, but I see him all the time and stuff like that. And I don't know if you've met Jordan McTaggart. He's on the back bench as well. I think he's more of the physical therapy and stuff like that, but he's a great guy too. And it's they've got a great coaching staff this year and stuff like that. And I think they got a bright future. They got a lot of great guys behind the bench, and a lot of great guys who can push these kids to the next level and stuff like that. The Storm hasn't performed as well as we'd all like them to in the last couple of years, but I think they're on the right track for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't know that about the coach. That's really interesting. I'm going to have to get him on the radio and get him to tell people about this, because that's really cool. And I bet you it's inspiring for the kids to know that this is a guy who's been there, and I can lead you, and I know what it takes, and all that stuff goes a long way. I met, you said Jordan, the physical. Yeah. I met him briefly, and I was impressed, just by the way he carries himself, and he's a healthy guy, and I could tell he's a smart guy. It was only a brief meeting, but I was like, wow, there's really great people here, and people dedicating themselves, to this community and to these kids and to this cause. I mean, it's awesome that's why I'm there. And it's nice to know there's a bunch of people that are also there for that same reason. I'm like, cool. Mm-hmm. I guess this is it. This is what GP is all about. This is what it was built on, is these people that decide to give back, I guess, to some degree.
It's about community. It's all back to that. And it's a great community organization, and it's got lots of great sponsors, and it tries to, it helps out in lots of different ways. It helps other charities, and Storm's been a great organization. I will give them that.
Yeah. And last year was a good season, by the way. I think we were second. I think we lost in overtime or something in the finals. I don't know the exact, but it was a huge leap forward from the one before, because that was one of those seasons that you just you don't talk about.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Yeah, no,
rebuild.
It'll be good. Sometimes. It'll be good, and it's going to be good to see you there, and it's going to make me want to go.
Yeah, I'll partake in a few more games for sure.
Want to go more. I've only been to. It's usually 3-4 games a year or stuff like that, but I'm gonna make an effort now, and if maybe slot a few tickets our way here, Ryan G.
Absolutely.
Oh no, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's wicked.
But it's I want to create a culture around it where the community does show up, and so I guess there's a little pressure on that, because I can interview these people. So if I talk to the coach, get them on the radio, let people know what's going on, So I guess I'm wondering what the potential is for that. What can we do? How much can you blow this up, and what's the right way to strike the keys to make it happen? Because it's possible, but you just have to know, what's the message? What are we tapping into? And I think it's a rallying point for sure for the community. It's a place to meet. It's a place to support. And unless you guys got some better angles for me.
Well, I mean, how many other avenues of entertainment do we have usually on during the week in winter in Grande Prairie?
There's not very many. Yeah, but there's lots of opportunity to grow there. I think it's in terms of the marketing, I guess, or whatever we want to put it. I think it's a little bit understated. As much as everybody kind of knows about it, there's not a whole lot of. It doesn't seem like it to me. I don't know. I'm not facing eyes into it, I guess, but it seems like there's not a whole lot of marketing around it, other than promoting the games themselves, kind of thing. You know what I mean? You do the theme night kind of thing, and take something from the NHL style or NHL brand kind of stuff or whatever, right? You take it from there. You do theme nights and player nights and these types of things or whatever, right? Or white night or whatever the thing is, whiteout nights and stuff like that. And I think by promoting those things, show up, you get a free Storm towel with your ticket, and you get on the mic and get everybody rolling, or someone's on the mic getting people rolling. A lot of that stuff is missing from it, kind of like the fun of hockey.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, that makes sense. Getting community, friendship. I mean, people will, if they remember how it made you feel, right? Rather than maybe exactly what happened. So it's got to be a vibe, and Yeah, man, it'll go great.
Yeah.
It's something you maybe can't even plan for. I mean, you're reacting to what's happening, and it'll all be good. But yeah, I'm doing that, and then a whole bunch of remotes. So you're going to hear me from selling hot tubs and anything else that they got me going. But September, there's like 2 or 3 weeks in September where I'm just going all day, which is fantastic because it's not a surprise. I can gear up for it. I can go to bed knowing that this is going to be that kind of day, where I don't do any show prep because I'm somewhere else for 6 hours, and then I show up with 1 minute, and then it's just like, oh man, like it sucks if you fall behind the 8 ball when you're live because the songs seem to play faster and you seem to talk more often, and it seems like there's nothing, and it's just, if you're behind the 8 ball, that's the worst. But it doesn't happen often because I'm always prepared. I'm always doing 3 hours of prep, and so those days are going to be doozies, but I know it'll be easy on myself. No one's ever harder on me than me, so I'll be all right.
Yeah, sometimes you need that little bit of extra pressure, you know what I mean? That's what makes the diamonds, you know what I mean? A little pressure make the diamonds.
I think so. So
that's when people really shine, I think, and you're on top of your game, and we do definitely appreciate it. So
yeah, man. So well, thank you again, man, for coming on. Tell everybody where they can find you if they want to follow you, or if they want to figure out what else you're doing and follow along to all your remotes and everything else you got coming up.
Where they can listen to you.
I'm in one place, and I'm at Ryan G Radio on Instagram. Yeah, I post the odd photo of what I'm up to, and then tune in to 97.7 Rock. I mean, that's me in my element, and been doing it for many years, and I could genuinely say every day I'm just trying to do my best, and that's the best part, is I get to do it every day, and it's satisfying to get to do it every day, and try to do my best, and it's not like I fail that much, and I mean that respectfully. Like, I'm not the best, but I know what I'm doing now, so I get to enjoy it. Like, for a lot of my career, it was dragging myself in front of people because I didn't know how to communicate, didn't know what to talk about, didn't know how to relax, and I had a lot of people telling me what to do. Now it's a little bit more enjoyable.
Yeah, you're a professional, and that's when you don't have that extra people breathing down your neck, and you can kind of be free and just do your thing and be comfortable doing it. That's when it really comes across as this is as good as it's going to get, or as good as you can put out. I mean, that's what people want to hear, when they're comfortable, when they can just be themselves, when they can put out what they want to put out, be who they want to be themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, they say that they want personality. Like, Grande Prairie just wants personality. And I'm like, okay, great. Like, then you have to ask yourself, who am I? Like, what's my personality? What's the difference between that and everything else that someone does? It's like, okay. But, yeah, and I appreciate you guys having me back on. I really think what you're doing is great, and promoting it to me is awesome because I think you guys deserve it. And you bringing me on is it's awesome. It's I'm learning from your guys' show what professionals are. Like, you guys are super professional.
Right.
You are, though.
Yeah, come on.
And the guests, though, like the way Bill conduct himself and the way that all these guys conduct themselves, I'm like, this is really good for me to see, because I don't know why, but it feels like, I don't know. I guess you have to see it demonstrated sometimes to be reminded why we even looked up to these guys. Like, wow, they really are great, and they are awesome people. And I don't listen to radio anymore, and I don't really do any of that. Like, I just do the show, and I guess it reminds me to look to other people, and it's inspiration. So I appreciate that.
No, man, you've been a huge support of us, and you're helping us out leaps and bounds, and can't thank you enough again. Like, honestly, for all the shout outs.
No, man,
all the shout outs, all the radio spots, all the, you know what I mean? You've been definitely a huge supporter, and it definitely doesn't go unnoticed.
Well, I'll see if I can finagle you guys some interesting guests down the road.
There you go.
Maybe slip the pod to Kim Mitchell here tomorrow night. Hopefully tomorrow night I see you down at. I'll yell at you because I want to see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be there, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna be my best self and social and living in the moment. So I hope I see you guys for sure.
Nice, man. Appreciate you coming on as always, man. We will.
Thanks for putting up with it.
Oh man, there's no putting up.
No,
it's awesome.
It's been a good pod, man.
Yeah,
Thanks so much.
Pod. And we'll catch up with you soon, man. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we'll be there.
All right, brother. That's been another
Cheers,
episode
man.
of And the Year Was 1985 with Ryan G, 97.7 Rock, baby.